Hello, the title of this video project is Secrets of Creating Musical Sound in the Playing of Horowitz, how to apply his know-how in teaching. The pianist Vladimir Horowitz was legendary for his wide spectrum of tone colors. Many ambitious young pianists of his time lined up to buy tickets to his concerts, trying to learn the secret of his amazing sound. But it didn't work at all. Horowitz's personal sound was not reproducible. Therefore, my topic does not aim at finding ways to imitate Horowitz's sound itself. Rather, I want to share with you 5 creative ideas that I have derived from his performance recordings. For some years, I have been interested in creating my own musical sound, and during this journey, I have learned much about tone quality from Horowitz's stunning sound. I think these ideas will be meaningful tools in teaching too, when giving piano lessons. So let's dive into Horowitz's world of sound. Number 1. His trademark, creating a thrilling decrescendo. Horowitz's decrescendo frequently leave us speechless with amazement. Here is an example. This is an excerpt from the Rachmaninoff Piano Concerto No. 3, the second theme in the first movement. As you can see in the measure 111, the melody line gradually rises and it is marked diminuendo. In this moment, Horowitz reduced the volume in a normal way, but the step of dynamic change is really sophisticated towards the last note. I mean the dynamic range between piano and pianissimo or pianissimo is very organized and sensitive, and is based on the appreciation of his amazing ears. Another interesting point is here. Horowitz quite often made a subito piano with decrescendo in an ascending melody line, as in measure 109, even if it is written with a different dynamic marking. In particular, he used to treat the highest point as a way to an extremely softer sound, subito, and the effect is quite amazing. Let me play from measure 107 to 113, thinking about these points. Number 2. Sliding notes like digging the bottom of the keyboard. One of the most interesting aspects of Horowitz's performance is his flat fingers. How is it possible that he played such figural work with such an ineffective shape? But one thing is for sure, his flat fingers made it possible to create super transparent and deeper sounds using the cushions of his fingertips. At this moment, his sound doesn't feel like striking the keyboard. Instead, it feels like the sound is being pulled from the keyboard. Let me play an excerpt from the middle section of Schubert's Impromptu Opus 90 No. 4, and I'll try to bring out the top melody line thinking about Horowitz produced his sound. Number 3. A master of musical timing. When I started to recognize the relationship between musical sound and timing, I was inspired by how Horowitz allowed its notes to blossom by controlling their timing. I recall the saying, to read between the lines in poem. Horowitz used timing as a way to let music blossom and breathe, and this makes music lively and vivid. In particular, he produced the magical moments when the melody changed direction, or the harmony or melody changed color, or when he wanted a meaningful pause between phrases. As you can see in the excerpt, I have written a plus mark when Horowitz took a little bit of time based on his recording. Actually, timing can be very flexible depending on the performer's feeling at the moment, so it is dangerous to generalize the concept. However, I could find some common points where Horowitz usually took a little time, such as the series of repeated notes in measure 1, and the color change between the last 8 note of measure 5 and the following half note in measure 6. Measure 8 is another instance of my first point regarding the decrescendo of a rising melodic line. In this case, he also took a bit of time right before the highest note. These points might be difficult for beginners, yet I believe teachers can motivate students to explore the possibilities of timing in their current pieces. Let me play this example. Number 4. An ear for the natural decay of sound. Creating dynamic and touching moments by using his keenly trained ears was second nature to Horowitz. He used to make a thrilling suite piano sound after creating thunder-like fortissimo sound. And he also played the same notes with a variety of colors in the range of extremely softer dynamics. I have been inspired by examining how he could make every note sound different. Here is an example from the Rachmaninoff Piano Concerto No. 3, the first movement. There is a D on the fourth beat in measure 113, followed by another D in the following measure. Horowitz listened carefully to the decaying sound of the first D and made the following D softer with a little tenuto. This technique actually needs only a sensitive ear, so even beginner students may explore this effect in their simple songs. Here is another example proving Horowitz had a super sensitive ear and was a master of sound effect. In this passage, he makes a different color between the same notes A. Let me play this example. This is the opening piano part, and he created a dramatic crescendo on the repeated B, and then suddenly made an extremely softer sound, which created a stunning moment. Between the second and third measure, he also made a color change between the same notes E. Let me play this spot. This is also a good example how Horowitz loved such effects. he showed a moving forward motion in the successive chord progression between measure 57 and then suddenly reduced the volume on the first chord in measure 58. Also, in measure 59, he made a tearful moment on the second beat by playing subito piano. Actually, this skill can be developed step by step, but I think students will enjoy having an adventure with their music after becoming familiar with many instances with their teachers. Let me play this example. Number 5. A real hunter in sensing colorful notes. This is just one example how amazing Horowitz was in his appreciation for the color of sound. For carrying out this mission, actually it is time for combining of its secrets which I mentioned above. As you can see in measure 61 contains 3 16-note patterns. Because of the minor third C flat in the last beat, there is a beautiful transition between the F minor 9 and the A flat minor 9 chord. Here is the key to making a difference in the same pattern. Horowitz took a little bit of time right before playing the first 16-note pattern, and then he made a softer sound after playing the second pattern so that we can hear how the F minor 9 chord beautifully changed it into the more colorful chord. To develop this ability, I think teachers need to help students become aware of what is in the melody, chords, and harmonic progression. It will be challenging the first time, but students will soon find that they have changed it into real hunters, both catching and feeling notes and creating interpretations based on their imagination. Before wrapping up, I would like to play hymn arrangement softly and tenderly, thinking about all the points I have mentioned. Playing music well is demanding and lifelong project, but I think Horowitz's legacy provides us with wonderful ways to explore the beauty of sound. Thank you for being with me on this journey.